Hello gamers, welcome to this very special video. I've invited two developers from the team that works on the Grand Theft Auto Stars and Stripes modification to make this little interview. Welcome Hayabusa and Matineu. Can you tell us something about you?
I'm Matt. I'm the guy who kickstarted this whole deal. I do maps and that's it. That's how I do. I don't know that much about modding really.
Okay.
I'm just model, and I know like how to import things, but I'm usually just model and lead this thing in a more in like a director type of deal.
Okay,
But
nice.
I'm not that good in the technical part, but I still think I'm getting better and better modeling. And I think people can notice that in the modeling, there's some old areas that look kind of bad in my in my own merit. Not my merit, but my own scale of how good things are. But anyway, I think I'm getting better, and I think the mod is getting better by each day it goes, and we will eventually just achieve this dream everyone has of having a great mod made for the fans, made by the fans, that unites, not exactly unites, but creates a whole different map. That is just the whole USA. That's the whole dream we want to achieve.
Actually, to be honest, I didn't know that you started the whole project actually, but good to hear that. Thank you, thank you. Okay, Hayabusa, can you?
Hello everyone. So I am Hayabusa, and I am basically like a co-leader of this project out of three co-leaders, which Matineu is like the pretty much like the main one, and another co-leader is Uriel Sanchez, who is unfortunately not here. And my main part of this project outside of this is basically 3D modeling as well, making maps. I pretty much I'm glad that I can take this opportunity to improve with my modeling with each landmark I make and stuff like that. And also I really like teamwork. I enjoy other people's contributions. I like when people improve. I also really enjoy especially that atmosphere of everyone being good at something, and then we can just always pack it all together into this project. And outside of that, my another creative input I really favor is weapons. I mean, like anything like weapons related, I like to design that kind of system about it and all the kind of stuff. And also I think one memorable thing is also that there is by maps. What Matt also meant is that he does 3D modeling and he draws 2D maps as well. I think that's like important distinction to make, since I don't do do like 2D maps, but pretty much like most of the 2D maps that were drawn and the whole concept plan and stuff that was basically done by Matt. But obviously he models as well. I just wanted to make that more clear.
Great. Okay. Thank you. It was quite interesting and nice beginning. So, we are still in the beginning. So, I think there are still many, there are still many viewers that don't know what GTA Stars and Stripes modification is. Can you tell us in general what is that?
I think my introduction told what the modification's about. It's just making a USA map in the San Andreas style. That's really it.
Yeah, if you were into
that.
And if he just went into more, I mean, not even a detail about it, but just wider description of it. Yeah, it is basically the main priority of this modification. Is basically to recreate the most of the USA map. I mean, yeah, most of the USA map, obviously there are not like all of the all of the like states included in it, just like the most memorable ones, and most importantly, it is all done within the San Andreas art style, and especially that 2004 kind of feel. And outside of that, we are also like working on a bunch of content as well that is trying to be like systematic, or I mean like done in a systematic way, like with new vehicles, weapons, timeline, and maybe even storyline.
Yeah, I see. That what was the question about. So the main priority of the project is basically making the United States map in GTA San Andreas engine. I have a question that it's regarding to the name Stars and Stripes. Is there any interesting story behind it? Would you mind to share it with our audience? How did you came up with the name?
It's really simple in my eyes. It's just a colloquial way to call the US flag. That's
Makes
it,
sense.
really.
Mm.
Because you just giving a name like GTA United States, GTA America is like
Yeah.
really lazy. So we just went the extra leg and
I
made
actually
it a
love
bit
the
better.
name.
Thanks.
Yeah. Very nice job with it. Okay. I think we can move to next question. Why did you choose GTA San Andreas game, the engine? Aren't you limited in some ways using this outdated engine?
But that's
Well,
because we wanted to make a mod for San Andreas. That's why we are using its engine. But we have some plans to tweak the engine a bit and avoid those limitations that are causing us a bit of trouble.
Okay.
But we
well,
have our plans.
in to a bit of a technical side, currently, basically, with the question of the limitations, we are currently using such, I mean, great tools, that if they didn't exist, we won't be able to do anything like this, even like in a size of a concept or whatever. Stuff like Fastman 92 limit adjuster, which already basically hacks a tons of GTA SA engine limits and stuff like that. But as Matt said, there are like more technical plans. I don't even know myself because like I'm not like a coder, or I'm not like programmer or anything.
Okay.
That are going to be even more tweaked in the future. So which is gonna be like our own custom stuff to it. So yeah. Basically, once we reach the point, like the point when we basically need to surpass more limitations, then we are gonna find a way how to how to basically just skip through them.
Yeah. Well, when I played that modification for the first time, so I was like, "Holy, what the fuck?" Well, the map was so huge, so Jesus, like so much work is done already, and well, so much work is to do. So yeah, but I'm really wondering, how huge is your the team, developers team?
Currently, it's 3 leaders, or I mean, like respectively 3 co-leaders to be more specific. 1 development manager, and obviously, we have 1 Discord admin. We also have like I would say 10 or 11 developers, maybe even more. Actually,
It's a small team for such a huge project.
yeah, actually, I should have been prepared for this one. I admit. I'm just gonna check, like quickly the
Yeah.
members. 28 developers to be exact, but I can
What?
confirm that it's more like like the half of it are people who contributed and aren't like very active these days, but the rest, like, the rest of like 11 people are pretty much active, I can say.
Mhm.
And we also have 5 radio developers. And yeah, that's pretty much it now.
Okay. Matineu and Hayabusa, you are one of the mappers from the team. There are more mappers like you.
There's Max, there's Shark Dad to an extent. No, who else there is? I think there's another guy. Poor dude is probably shaking right now because I can't remember him. We have Sky Stripe. Bucko Bunny in a certain way is a mapper as well, but he mostly just do individual buildings. Yeah, that's
It's
kind of it. I guess there's someone else I'm missing.
Well,
Once again, poor guy is shaking for not remain for me not
Obviously-
remembering.
obviously Black and White, but Black and White is going to be inactive now on project which was announced earlier, but he's making a lot of behind the scenes contributions on coding and stuff, like when it comes to all the special features that's only exclusive currently to our own modification
okay.
with Black Engine.
Wait, didn't GZ ask about the mappers in specific?
Yeah. I was talking about mappers specifically, but it's okay.
Like,
it's fine.
obviously, like, I don't wanna, steer away, from the basis of the question, but honestly, I would say, that it's important, to obviously, like, name people who don't do just mapping, because they are obviously contributing to a lot of different aspects to this project. So
Yeah,
that's just like a
Yes.
correction.
I totally agree. Why I was asking about the mappers, I f***ing love custom maps in GTA games. We can talk about more, types of programmers. You can say if it's 3D modelers or 2D modelers. Do you need some 2D modelers in this project? For the textures, right?
2D artists.
2D
or
modeling
like
isn't that term?
Oh,
2D
sorry,
artists is
yeah,
of course-
2D artists or just some, graphics designers or something like that.
Yeah, we have, and especially when you are like a active 3D modeler yourself, you basically require to have some 2D designer knowledge yourself when it comes to making textures.
Yeah.
And I already made myself my own to my maps a bunch of custom textures myself. Same with Matt. He made a lot of custom textures to himself as well. And currently, when it comes to 2D designers, I would say that there are 2 new developers, Vsevolod, I think, Vsevolod and Bistail, and they are basically they just recently drew the weapon icons in the Stars and Stripes styles, in the Stars and Stripes style, which is which is just gonna be shown later. It's unknown yet to the public how it looks like. And there was, I think, also Klaus, who is not really active today, but he helped to draw basically like some cities, basically, or like some like details in the towns when it comes to like 2D map itself, I think. So I'm just trying to remember if I didn't forget about anyone, because
Yeah.
that will make me sad.
Well, we all appreciate the work for all of the members in the team. The Stars and Stripes modification is so far so amazing. Even we are in the beginning, right?
I already we already answered that question, but I basically if I had to say everyone in general, it would be like over 40 people maybe, and we are counting inactive and active developers as well to this number.
Okay. Well, it's really such a huge team for the project. I thought, in the beginning you said there are like 11 programmers, so I was like, wait, the project
No,
is so big.
Developers.
Okay, developers, okay.
And I also would like to give shout out to Adus, who basically he's not like an active developer, but he's a mapper who contributed with his own project that is called Upstate Liberty, and he kindly gave us a permission to use it in our mod as well, which we are very, very grateful for. So make sure to play his basically like his Upstate Liberty modification in GTA 3 as well when it gets released.
Mhm.
We are obviously not going to release it before he releases it on his own end, so
Yeah. Well, I'm really looking forward to see the Upstate Liberty.
yeah,
Okay.
very nice map modification. It's really good.
I already saw some screenshots on the Discord server, and I was like, wait, that's really insane. I'm wondering, what is your inspiration for all of the models for whole maps? What is your inspiration? Is just your real life? I don't think so.
Mostly at cities and towns, I like to go like Google Street View or
Oh.
something, and then I just look. Oh, this building look like this. I'm going to try to replicate
So
it. And
the inspiration is only the real life, or
not really, because in the countryside it's mostly. Yeah, I think there should be a mountain here. That's it. That's the reasoning behind the countryside, really.
yeah.
I would say like to summarize it like a bit more. It's more like of a process of that how the city level design in normal GTA game looks like. It's pretty much just like summarized basically all the favorite landmarks into like one spot or whatever that connect that are just connected to each other. So we are basically trying to emulate that same philosophy of it, and that's why it feels and looks like it just came from the Rockstar games themselves, back in the game, or Rockstar North specifically. But honestly, like there is like some exceptions. For instance, I used to work on this. I don't think. I mean, I can say, I guess, because yeah, the name itself, if you translate it, it's kind of weird. But when I used to work on Santa Perelloca, it's
the island.
Yeah, it's based on the Santa Catalina, which is a real life island right next to the Los Angeles. I mean, shout out to Jizzy because he already made a video on this island, so go check it out if you still didn't.
I wonder what Cheesy will think about the shout out when he hears it.
Yeah.
And
I really like the island.
And basically,
it's small, but it's it has so many details.
Yeah, the reason why I brought this up is because it is basically based on Santa Catalina with like the shape and stuff. But to be honest, most of the stuff in Santa Catalina, like most of the designs and all that, is basically from my own imagination. So it was more like a spontaneous process. There is like. It has like some basic resemblance of the island, but there are certain buildings there and there that are directly taken from Google Street View as well. If you look deep enough, you can actually find some of the buildings that are near replicas on that island as well. But that one was basically mostly just like made up pretty much.
Okay, I think we can move to another question. Or do you want to add something?
When you were talking about Paraloka, you just explained how my talk process works, basically. I usually just look at the Google Maps and see, oh my God, the city looks like this, so I'm going to draw it in a similar fashion, hyperbolizing the important part, and what's the term for it? And making the important parts bigger, the less important parts smaller. That very simple process,
Yeah.
And then I model it, and once I have the streets done, I look up again on maps for landmarks and some interesting places, and that's what I usually do. And once I'm done with the landmarks, I just make some generic buildings to fill it out.
Yeah, that's
I
pretty
think
much
it's
the most.
straightforward.
Yeah, that's pretty much the most effective process when it comes to modeling these cities and pretty much just anything.
Oh, and as I said before to the team, actually in private, I do the 2D maps, but I'm probably the guy who disobeys them the most in the team. Because like I draw the 2D maps, and then when I'm modeling, I just run over a lot of things in them, and because I have like new ideas or rethink of how something should be like. That happens a lot actually. Like I just that's kind of a metaphor of sorts, but I'm just passing with a bulldozer in Frostwater right now, just redoing the entire south of the city.
Well, let's say the main inspiration is the real life and imagination.
Yes, it's basically a mix of both.
Yeah.
And the dream, the ambition,
Yeah.
the idea of making, a GTA USA.
Yeah. So nice. Okay. Let's move to next question. If this information isn't a secret for you, can you let's say how many countries do actually work on the project Stars and Stripes?
Well, we actually kept the list of it somewhere, right, Matt? Before.
I think so.
Yeah, we actually made a list already.
Can you
but
name like few of them?
we lost that list.
Oh.
Well, basically,
for what I know, there's Czechs that is like just higher. There's Russians that's like Black and White, Sky Stripe, Bistale, that guy with a funny nickname I can't pronounce. There's also Shaspi, who's an intern, who made like a pretty cool model on himself. So check his mod out. It's called GTA Sunshine City. We have a few Yankees as well. I think it's Monte Heights. We have a lot of Argentinians as well. There's Max. There's Shark Dad. I think there's someone else actually, but I can't remember. We also have a guy from Venezuela that's the teacher. You have a Mexican who's Uriel. You have a couple of Brazilians it's Cheater.
It's really nice.
Cheater is Argentinian actually, or something else. I honestly don't go. Where's the guy? The Argentinian, not Brazilian was. What's the name of that guy again? Who made the cards? He keeps changing his nickname. Oh Lord.
You mean?
There's also me, and since I'm a staunch separatist, I don't think I'm Brazilian at all because I'm a staunch separatist. That's how I can say it.
Yeah, but I just wanted to also add, yeah, it is true that I'm Czech indeed. And what really surprised me was, to learn that the Jizzy is Czech as well. So that surprised us mutually, pretty much.
Okay, yeah, it surprised me too when I saw the topic on the certain website where you post the information about modification, and I saw that flag of Czech Republic, and I was like, Oh, wait a second. I can write a message in Czech language. Okay, let's go. And everything, it was quite more simple. And yeah, here we are.
What the hell? Czech people outside of Daniel Vávra can be creative? What?
What? No, that was that wasn't
Wait,
what I was
there's
meant.
people in
Okay.
Czech Republic?
Wait. The Czech Republic, does it even exist? Wait, what? Okay. Anyway.
Isn't it just a part of the Austrian-Hungarian
Is it a
Empire?
real
What?
thing? Wait, what? Anyway, I will cut this question. Maybe not. I will see. Okay, never mind. Let's move on.
No, don't cut it. It's nice. It's amazing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. How did you manage to put such team together?
Well,
Just telling people to Discord, saying, "Oh, we need more people to work in the team," and that's really it. But then just a lot of people just flocked over. So the real birth of the map I made was actually in GTA Underground. That's the thing. I was part of the GTA Underground for a short while, and it was especially for me to work in a secret project of sorts. I can talk about this because I'm friends with Duckling again, and it isn't a thing anymore because Take Two, haha. And there was this project landmass name, which, as the name implies, it was supposed to make like a landmass connecting the UG maps, and it didn't really flourish because I took like a really long time to finish the map. I couldn't 3D model it at that time, and only another guy in the team who's Noah, and who allowed us to use a bit of his modeling in the map. The Valley of Ashes was actually made by him, so shout out to Noah. He was the only guy modeling, and eventually the project crumbled, especially because I was in a bit of that whole thing of some mad rebellious thing bullshit just made, and I just said, "Oh, if you guys want to use my map, then I will use it." And I kind of got kicked out of the thing. Also, I also wanted to leave, so that didn't kind of work out. And then my reasoning was, well, now that I'm 3D modeling, I'm learning to do it. So I'm going to start a project by myself. But I was thinking, if I just do a full US map on the go, would be just insanity. So I decided to stripe it out and start Lien, because my idea was once I finish Lien, I will start something like GTA Gold Coast. That would be Sandario and Jackalope and all of that region, and then after Gold Coast, I could have something on the Midwest to finish Windy Bay, Carcer, and then maybe Deep South with Peachtree, Bison, and all of that. And I would eventually have a full map when I finish off those projects, combining them on what would be Stars and Stripes. So the idea of Stars and Stripes would be a collection of all of those 5 map. Pardon for the struggle here. But the idea of Stars and Stripes, it was that it would be a combination of those 5 map mods I finished. That was the idea of Stars and Stripes. It would be the collection of those maps. But what happened that was I met Uriel, who's the older co-leader of the team that sadly couldn't go to this interview because his English isn't that good. He isn't fluent like I and Hi are. And besides, I think he's sleeping because time zones. So I met him. He was working on a UG submod called UG Redux, and he was doing some good work. But then there was this problem that the mod was being like really infamous because it was just reaping UG assets at that point. And people weren't caring about the things he added because of that. So I was helping him, and then eventually I just told him that we should do the mod from start. And instead of continuing my original plan, we just named the new mod Stars and Stripes, and that's how modern Stars and Stripes happened. And sorry for the hellhounds in the background. I hate them as much as you probably do.
I wanted to just ask, is that a dog behind you or something?
It's my idiot neighbor has like 5 billion dogs that he somehow only has for them to bark. It's unbearable.
I see.
I wanted, to basically add my own backstory as well as, how I basically got into this project on such a high post as well. Well, my backstory basically goes like this. I used to learn modeling already prior to being in the GTA modding community. I was a beginner modeler. I modeled in Blender, which I, by the way, still use to this day, even for GTA modeling. And I used to basically create a lot of like custom levels for Tony Hawk's Underground Pro.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Tony Hawk's Underground, you mean the old Underground games like 1 and 2?
No, actually Pro, which is basically like a modification for 2 that's basically like, it's basically modern pretty much, and it, combines...
Okay, I see now.
Yeah, and I basically, was trying, to make some custom levels that were like in PS1 style and stuff like that. I already finished one level at that time that was called Forest, which the modeling pretty much is laugable of it, or to my standards to these days, but it was cute. I mean, I at least, made some like functional level, and there was also like 2 projects that I never finished for it, so I would like to give a big shout out to THPSX. So those were basically, that's, how I started, to model. So I already had some modeling experience. And in the meantime, I also was obviously a huge fan of GTA as well, and especially modding. But I was never really active in the modding scene, or I mean, not even like, in the community itself, but I used to lurk often. And one of my favorite projects I've been following silently was basically GTA Underground, like since 2017. And I always, loved, obviously, to just wait for all the new snapshots and stuff like that. I was just excited to follow, the newsletters and stuff like that. And then basically I found out in like 2020 about Project Lien at the time. And I remember being so fascinated by it. Obviously, that state of the project was nowhere near as, good as, stuff we have now. But that idea that I have seen, of that map and stuff, it just fascinated me so much that I basically became active in the Project Lieni server. And I basically, I liked, that project a lot, so I basically, donated to Matt, that I wanted to support him, and, that I wanted to like, support the project. And I basically was, I mentioned that I can model as well, but I still, at that time, wasn't too much confident of myself, but I basically started to model just some little props or whatever that didn't make it yet, and I will probably remake them these days, honestly. And after that, we basically, talked and talked, and then I have noticed that Matt basically included there, in Project Lien, there was, planned Alcatraz. And the Alcatraz was initially planned to be bought from the Noah, who used, that guy who used to work for underground as well, but he used to, sell his maps, and we basically have, that Ash Valley made by him. And I said, you know what? I can actually make it, myself. If you don't mind, I can just try it. And he said, oh yeah, sure. So I started to work on the Alcatraz. I pretty much, just made the road layout and stuff like that. And then we found out about Underground Redux, which was, led by the Uriel. And then, as Matt already mentioned, it basically got rebranded and reworked into Stars and Stripes. I basically, at that time, just talked to Uriel, and at the time even Santiago, who was an ex-leader. Shoutouts to him as well. That I would like to do some 3D modeling for the project, and that I have already worked on the Alcatraz, like the prototype of it or whatever. And they said, yeah, sure. They just, brought me on the ship, and I started, and they, assigned to me that I should, start to model like stuff around, I don't know, like San Dario, and basically, like that part of the map. And they also, told me that I can, choose to model the Santa Catalina. And I said, oh yeah, actually, I should probably just, like do the Santa Catalina, just, like for the start. So I did. I modeled it. It turned into Santa Peraloca. And now, these days, I basically reworked that Alcatraz concept I had. And I am pretty much just, finishing it. And the Alcatraz itself, it's called Porridge in Stars and Stripes. And after it, I'm gonna work on the San Dario, which is basically real life equivalent is San Diego. So that's basically my backstory. I basically like started on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater modding and mapping prior to that, which I mean I'm really glad for it, because like it was a great learning experience to me. And I mean, I would argue that obviously the level design in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is way different than what is it in GTA, and that's why I basically wasn't so confident about it in first place, that I would like to do GTA mapping. But then I remembered that I guess I could get the gist of GTA level design well, and I guess I do. I don't know, but I guess so. So it's basically my backstory, that I was basically a fan of Project Lien, and then I just worked myself through as a modeler pretty much to this post over time.
Great.
Yeah, I'm back.
Hello, and I mean it's great that you are back, because I just finished my own backstory here.
Yeah, I was listening to for a bit of it.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Perfect. Thank you for your backstory to both of you. Thank you. Okay. Hayabusa, you mentioned Alcatraz, and I am having flashbacks that because Alcatraz is, or I think it's just a theory. Maybe it could be in GTA San Andreas, but many people say that it is one of the map thing or map island which was cut during development. My question is, there will be more like this, like gator keys in Vice City?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep, there will be gator keys in Vice City, but honestly, for me, that's just my own personal opinion. I'm not like trying to reflect the philosophy of project here, but honestly, when it comes to like beta content for me, it really doesn't matter to me whether it was supposed to be in the game or not. I like the idea of Alcatraz only, or I mean Porridge in this project, just because it feels like it should have been there, right? Because like obviously one of the most, if you're like, I don't know, in San Francisco, you would think, that one of the most, like, iconic landmarks around this, I don't know, stuff like Golden Gate Bridge and obviously Alcatraz Island. And when it's missing in the original game, I think, like, that's like, I think, like, that's just, like, it should be, that way. And as even with, gator keys themselves in Vice City, I think they should be there, not because, they were supposed to be in beta version, but because it just fits together. It just like blends together well, and it has it has to be there, or else it doesn't feel natural if they are not together there.
I never thought of what you just said, but yeah, it makes a lot of sense, really.
Yeah.
Because if you are going to parody Florida, for example, why shouldn't you have the keys? It's a really important touristic spot. It's good to
Exactly.
have it.
Yep.
That's nice. Okay. Myths or legends, mysteries, secrets. This is a really big topic even these days. Even after so many years from the GTA San Andreas release. So I'm wondering, will there be some mysteries in the project?
Of course. Of course.
Of course. Yes.
There is some already on the released map. People just didn't find them.
Shout out to all people who make Lockendo videos, by the way.
Hola a todos. Shout out to everyone that is still stuck on the pit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when is the mysteries and secrets and Easter eggs video coming, GZ?
Yeah.
Waiting for it.
Yeah, something is coming.
Nice.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Yes. Okay.
Well, on a non-video note, I'm going to upload like a new version, like in a few moments. Like maybe could be public actually if we are not missing anything.
Well, it's up to you if you put it on public or.
I mean, it's gonna be inevitable public anyways once the video releases. So I guess so. Yeah, it makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Well,
If it becomes public, then people will already know about that.
Yeah.
okay. I have a question. I have this question. Do you still accept more people in the team, like programmers, modelers, mappers, whatever? If yes, do you have any particular requirements?
Well, the requirement is that you shouldn't be an idea guy that can do jack shit. That's the only requirement, really.
Yeah, we basically have, on our Discord server, we have basically a system that's basically we have something that's called intern
Ticket
system. Yeah, it's basically the same thing, ticket and intern system. Yeah, basically people who are interested in and who especially have skills. Obviously, that's what Matineu said here, that you can't be an idea guy. You need to have some skills and be capable of creating something. You can, and if you obviously are interested in doing something, then you can go to our Discord server. You can apply for a ticket in the ticket channel, and you can basically show us in the ticket channel what you can do. And if we obviously if we after some verification, if you just basically say, oh yeah, you can do something or whatever, you will basically be an intern who, or I mean, you can even be developer straight ahead, but that's like a a rare case. Basically, in most of the times there obviously has to be some trust built. You basically become an intern, which is like basically a playground where you can improve in the meantime. You can improve your skills if they aren't like sufficient enough, but you have still a drive. And we can, give you some little tasks to just, see how well you can do. And then after a certain period, if you still, keep this up, and if you I don't know, even keep improving, or if you are still, good already, you will basically end up in a developer position. So that's like the roughly, that process pretty much, how we recruit people.
That's really nice. That's
Yeah.
really nice. Well, it's not for me because I can do shit. Just kidding. Okay, or maybe okay. Never
You
mind.
can do videos, you can edit. That's
Yeah, that's
Okay.
valuable as well.
So
yeah. Like I can edit a bit, but I don't like to do that. Honestly, I just
Same.
lose all the interest in that.
okay, well I
But if I
do.
have, I do.
Well, I do videos from like 2011 or something like that. So yeah,
Mhm.
I have this important question. I'm still finding this in the comments from the viewers. I mean, actually, there are two questions. The first one: will there be a multiplayer for Stars and Stripes modification?
UGMP player meeting. That gift just starts playing on my head. Well, that's not the idea for now because we have to do the map first. The map is
Yeah.
prime priority.
Yeah, of course. But like obviously, I would say that the question when it comes to the multiplayer is obviously going to be a thing. I mean, not the multiplayer itself is not gonna be a thing necessarily, but the question itself about it is going to be a thing once we finish the map. Yeah, pretty much that.
Yeah, I think we could talk about the multiplayer functionality for a like longer time because I know there is one more question. I think there must be some really good developer that could create a multiplayer modification that could handle like 10,000 players or something like that for the map.
I mean, yeah, that's like not out of questions. All of these are just possibilities that can happen pretty much. I mean, like right off the bat, I can imagine a bunch of possibilities that could be done with the map. Like when it comes to like multiplayer, for instance, obviously role playing will be a huge, basically like a huge feature. I mean, role playing is pretty much also one of the most popular genres of basically like open world online games, if I'm not mistaken. Like like in these like like the GTA style, like 5M and stuff like that. It's very popular, and I mean obviously there will be people who can be server owners and who can host servers who will be interested in utilizing the map. I'm very positive on this that there is always gonna be someone who is gonna be interested in it because like who will be, right? It's such a huge map. It's a huge playground for these people, of course.
Yeah. Well, the thing I'm asking is that there is San Andreas multiplayer, which is the version I think the latest one is 0.3.7 or something like that, or 0.3 DL, and there are still many bugs, and sometimes players are just totally out of sync, and it's not about the ping or lags. It's just the modification. It's not the best. So and also there is a maximum limit of slots for players, 1,000.
Yeah.
It's not a lot.
That's a lot. Already a lot of people, honestly.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not for a Stars and Stripes map, right? 1,000. It's not a lot.
I'm pretty sure that somebody will be interested later in like basically breaking this limit or whatever in some way or
Yeah, so
the other.
someone that knows multiplayerology because we don't know.
Okay. And the second question, really important. I also see this question in comments. What happened to GTA UG, GTA Underground? Aren't you afraid that something similar can happen to your project as well?
What I can say is that they had a plan B and we have a plan B as well.
Okay. Glad to hear it because Many people are worried, and me included. It would be so pity that if something happened to the project.
I have pretty much no comment on this, but yeah, I
Okay,
pretty much agree with Matt.
yeah, well, I'm glad that you know what to do.
Yes.
That there is a plan B. Okay, we can move to some specific functionality in Stars and Stripes. And Hayabusa, you mentioned the weapon system. Can you tell us something about this? I mean,
Okay.
I think there are many fans of weapons in general, so it's your time.
All right, so it's my time to shine on this one
FPS check, yeah. FPS check, yeah.
because I'm pretty much a huge weapons nerd myself. Or I mean, I used to be when I was younger, but now I just treat it more in a casual way. But I still am, and I especially always liked weapons when it came to GTA games, or like learning about and stuff like I don't know on these like things like GTA fandom and stuff like that. And basically, since I have a passion for this, I decided to make a weapon system for Stars and Stripes that I think would make the most sense and at the same time would basically utilize the map itself in the best way possible. Basically, if I had to like give you a summary of it, to give a bit of a technical backstory first, we are basically using this modification, which is work in progress, but now will for the time being will now be unfortunately halted, like the progress on it, which is Black Engine. And Black Engine, the technology of Black Engine is being developed by Black and White, and currently it's only available for our own mod pretty much. And the Black Engine pretty much like aims to like any pretty much like limit edges or software to just remove the limitations from the engine. But at the same time, Black Engine is special because it also adds way much of a customization in the game itself, in like the game design itself. It's going to rewrite like weapon system completely. There will be like like stuff like recoil and many other like game mechanics like this. What is also very important is that there will be new weapon types as well, such as landmines, which already work by the way, grenade launchers, petrol cans like from GTA 5, or for instance, I don't know, flashlight. What else? What else? I don't like explosive bullets, whatever, just stuff like that, pretty much. And and also very good thing about Black Engine is that it basically rewrites the syntax of many game files that you can already configure, but basically the syntax is rewritten in a way so it's way easier to read and modify it. It just makes more sense than something from 2004 pretty much. It's like very developer friendly in a way as well. And thanks to this Black Engine thing, we pretty much have way more possibilities with weapons. And basically, and it'll be also like this. Oh, there is also throwable melee or throw. I think it's pronounced like that, like throwable melee. Yeah, that's what it's pronounced. That's another weapon type that's gonna be there. And basically, that's like from the technical side. But now by the game design side itself, when it comes to the weapon system itself, well, there will be multiple weapon sets that are exclusive to certain specific states. So, for example, you will have San Andreas weapon set only available to states of San Andreas and Robada, which makes sense. Then you will have completely different weapon set that is available only to the states of Cheyenne and Minwall, which is basically Oregon and Utah. And then, of course, you will have like a weapon set that is only exclusive to Liberty and New Ireland, which is going to be like a fusion between, I don't know, like GTA 3, GTA LCS, and I don't know, like maybe some Bulwark weapons. But also about this, also about like, porting the weapons from different games. It's gonna be done in a different way than it was in GTA Underground, because GTA Underground was also famous, for porting all the weapons from previous games, pretty much all of them, and like different entries such as Bully or Manhunt. But I don't want to port absolutely everything, because most of these weapons are pretty much copycats of already existing weapons in San Andreas and to each other basically. So my plan is to basically include weapons only like from these games that are pretty much unique in some way. So I wanted to state that there won't be duplicates. Every weapon is going to be aimed to be basically unique. And obviously new weapons are modeled in the San Andreas art style as well, of course. And already one weapon set we have made. It's basically for Cheyenne and Minwall, which is mostly done by me, like modeled and stuff, and designed weapon stuff like that. And there is also the landmine, which is made by Black and White, and striker shotgun model by Shiro, who was also a developer, like weapons developer for GTA Underground before. We have him on team as well, so shout out to him. And yeah, that's pretty much like for the weapon system. It's just supposed to be unique for each couple of states, pretty much. So it creates like it has to like. My opinion is that this has to emulate the feel that these states came like from a different non-existent GTA game in this way, if you get what I mean, right? That you are just in a completely new region, and obviously they're like completely new weapons. And of course there are some weapons that, I mean, only specific weapons that are going to be located everywhere on the map, like armor, parachute, just basic San Andreas shotgun, just like very basic weapons, like very basic necessities, but it's supposed to be unique pretty much, and at the same time have a healthy balance of quantity, basically, to it.
Okay, and what about sounds? Will be there specific sound for specific weapon?
That is a great question, because that is also a technical question when it comes to Black Engine.
Oh.
San Andreas modding was pretty much notorious when it came to weapon sounds, because weapon sounds were always sort of tricky and difficult to mod, like the custom weapon sounds. But with the Black Engine, it's easy. You just drag and drop the audio file. That's it. The game will load it. So it makes it so much easier. And obviously, if you need to have some kind of configuration file when you will assign that sound to a specific weapon, but that's obvious. But it's that easy with Black Engine. So we are so glad for the work of Black and White that he allowed us to use it in the first place, and that that he pretty much like developed this kind of technology, because it's absolutely necessary for such modification on this big scale, pretty much. So yeah,
I guess same comes with cars and bikes.
But unfortunately I didn't have much time lately. I mean, obviously I already spent a lot of time both real life and this project stuff, and I'm just trying to balance it in between. And obviously when all of your efforts go to pretty much managing the work of others and the 3D modeling and also weapons, then you can do the vehicles, even though I would love to basically do some kind of vehicle system, but I don't have time for it on my own, and we basically need someone who is interested in vehicles as well, pretty much, to go for it, I guess.
I see.
So
I understand.
yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm not a vehicle nerd. That's the problem, basically. In short.
I see. Okay. 1 hour late or something.
Yeah, it's
I
gonna be beefy.
yeah, but yeah, it was also fun. Well, if people will like it, so we can make like more
Part 2.
episodes. Yeah, like
Yeah.
part 2. So okay, guys, thank you so much that we could arrange this interview.
Oh, no, thank you for the opportunity, man. Appreciate it.
I was going to say that. Thank you for the opportunity. We wish you a lot of luck as well, Jersey.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I wish you same. GTA Stars and Stripes will be, or it is already a huge thing, but you know, everyone, or we all in the world, we are waiting and looking forward to the full version. I know
mean-
it's a still long way, but
Yeah.
okay, guys, thank you once again. Thank you for coming, and yeah, we all looking forward to do more stuff from GTA Stars and Stripes modification. See you next time, guys.
Thanks. Okay.
See you.
See ya.